Yeah.
But, I can see you're open, man. You got
I'd like to see,
you got a soft heart,
even if it's on the internet, if you can see what happens and how they go about things. Because, like I say, all I know is what I've been told by the local church and Sunday school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which could be total rubbish as far as I know.
Yeah.
You just don't know, do you? It's just what you're told. You know, I believe in some things, other things I don't believe in. But if you don't open your mind to see what other things are, you never will you?
Yeah.
So, and I believe in mediums and things like that. So
they're definitely touching on the spirit realm. They're definitely like channeling stuff.
I know some good people who are spirit, mediums.
Yeah.
Some good people who've given me some good advice in the past.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think they'd know about, but they do.
It's amazing, man,
weird.
that you can stay so open and soft to this stuff after, everything you've gone through and whatever. Because I know a lot of people get bitter and twisted.
Yeah,
but do you know what I mean?
You say, the sterile, boxed, religious way that you've taught as a kid is sort of shoved aside when something like this happens to you, because you think, well, that's total bollocks, because if that was true, this would not be happening.
Yeah.
But the other side of it, it touches on different things, doesn't it? And it makes perhaps the unacceptable more acceptable. Yeah. If you know what I mean. But I'm quite open. I'm quite willing to look at stuff to think,
Amazing, man.
If to see whether
we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. I mean, if I don't go for a few weeks, then you know what I mean. God keeps increasing His presence on me. Then we'll see what happens, because that's what happens with me a lot of the time. I'll just get around people and somehow they'll get really touched, Yeah. And like we've seen like crazy healings and miracles, Like I'm believing that the day is going to come where we'll see like even guys like you, that have gone through what you've gone through, receive real miracles. That's what I want to see. Like I've seen, like I've gone to India, done crusades in India. I've seen cancers dissolve. I've seen blind eyes open. I've seen deaf ears opening in my own ministry. Like I've ministered to thousands of people in India, and seen in one meeting I saw over 100 healings and miracles. I saw one woman come out and she had like a cancerous tumour right by her, and it was about the size of a golf ball. I lay hands on it and I commanded it to go in the name of Jesus. It just started vibrating. The thing just started vibrating. She came back the following day, totally gone. There was a little kid. He was like 7 or 8 years old. From the time he was born, he'd had a withered hand, and he'd never ever been able to like open his hand. That night, God just touched him. His hand opened up, and he was carrying a bag for the first time. There was people there that had been deaf for 8 years, 20 years. God just opened their ears up. It's like I've seen like a lot of healings and miracles. That's mad, isn't it? And I'm believing that the day is going to come when my faith is going to be at the level where I will see guys like you, receive, like I don't believe it's beyond God to give people like miracles where they receive like fresh body parts and stuff.
You reckon?
Like, oh, definitely. You think if God created everything, if He created this world, what is it for Him to give you, a miracle? I don't believe for 1 minute that that's beyond what He's able to do. I've read stories right down through church history where people have been given like limbs back and crazy stuff. I don't want to like, fill you with fresh, with some crazy hope. I'm just on about where I'm at. I'm believing for myself personally that I can start walking in that level, even if it takes me 10 years for my faith to get to that level, that like I will see creative miracles. That's what I'm believing for. And like church history is full of stories. Like in the 1950s in America, there was something called the Voice of Healing movement, where evangelistic people like me started preaching in big tents in America, and they would see crazy healings and miracles, absolutely crazy healings and miracles. There would be 20, 30,000 people a night fitting into these tents, and the miracles they were seeing were phenomenal, documented healings. It started in 1946. It lasted for 10 years till 1956. All sorts of crazy healings and miracles.
So why didn't it sort of go on from there, or was it?
It was like a move of God that lasted for like 10 years. Yeah. The people, some of the people that we used at that time, got into just different sin issues and different things. But it seemed to last. I don't know, it just seemed to last for like a 10-year like time frame. the stuff that was going on has all been documented. I've read some of the magazines. There was a magazine that they used to promote called The Voice of Healing, where they would share the stories of stuff that went on. There's documented stuff of the miracles. And I mean, I'm not talking like in one night you get 2 or 3 healings and miracles. I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
Every night. It's 20, 30,000 people meeting under these like tents. And like, you know, guys, it was, you know, I can give you the names of the people that we use. I mean, crazy stuff, absolutely crazy stuff.
It's mad, isn't it, Alice?
Yeah.
So you think that's got something to do with the fact that there's that many people in there that it created such a powerful source?
Just faith, just total faith in God. There was just such a sense of faith that anything was possible, that like the impossible just started happening, you know, because people were so...
So you think that...
Full of faith.
Yeah, so if you're full of faith and you believe it can happen, that so many people gathered in one place could make actually things happen.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. I mean, these were like born-again believers that were full of like the faith of God, and somehow when they would gather together, God's presence would come so strong that the healings and miracles just started.
So when Sunshine brought that up, I thought it was a bit of ill taste because she doesn't know us very well. And most people, and I know people who've had eating disorders, it's not something that you open up about free willy in the middle of like a debate. Do you know what I mean? So that put me on the back foot because I actually know people who've had eating disorders, and I think they're very, 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 very quiet about when they're going to bring it up and when they're not. So that made me think, well, everyone's different, but still, you chose a really random time to bring it up when you don't really know me. So that made me think, did she have one and is she doing it for sympathy, or did she not have one and she's just doing it for attention?
Are you talking about Sunshine still?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't have it anymore. Thereby might find it easier to talk about now.
I've got a very good close friend who had an eating disorder for years and years and years and years and years.
I think it's
And
terrible.
she didn't?
I think
No,
it's
she didn't.
terribly
Oh, she
sad.
did.
And it was, she wouldn't ever admit it.
Allow yourself to get into that kind of a mindset.
It's just the same as people like gym people who have body dysphoria. Like people who are just obsessed with working out and being big. They look in the mirror and see themselves as being thin.
Yeah.
And they just need to just be bigger and bigger and bigger. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of people who go to the gym are on the cusp of, you know, because they're so obsessed with going to the gym and looking a certain way that when they look in the mirror, they don't actually see themselves as big as they are.
Of course, people go to the gym because they want to be attractive, sexually attractive, you know.
I think there's
this
many
woman-
different types of like eating disorders.
Oh yeah, this must be loads. And like, there's people who calorie count. There's people who are
The
constantly...
comfort eaters.
Yeah. And there's this woman I met actually at my gym, and she'd lost weight. She was a big girl, and she'd lost a lot of weight. And she said to me in the change room, she says, I still, even though I'm thin, I still feel fat. And she goes, and when I walk, if I'm walking through a door and someone's coming, when she was fat, she used to wait.
Really?
Because 2 people, she wouldn't fit through the door with them. And even now, she won't walk through the door at the same time. Because she still feels fat, even though she's not.
Oh yeah, mental scars never really heal.
No.
Do you want some of that one?
Like I used to use
Behind.
that. Like I was never hospitalised or anything like that, but I was taken to the doctor and stuff to talk about it or whatever. But like it was just a way for me to control, controlled. When I was studying loads, I studied loads and controlled what I ate a lot. Do you know? Like I wouldn't have any carbohydrates, nothing like that. I drink black coffee during the day. No, but I never got to a point where I needed to be hospitalised or anything. But I just controlled. Food was the way that I used to control.
Yeah, I did that in my 3rd year at college. I was very, very concerned that I was too muscular, and I was like very careful of what I ate when I ate it. You know, after I'd if I did go out and have something to eat, I remember thinking the next morning I have to get up and do my sit-ups.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So do I.
Do you know what I mean? So that I suppose is different to the average person who doesn't think about what they eat. But we live in a society where we're very much always pumped. What is the way to look? And that's why it's getting to young people.
Yeah, totally.
I remember one of my nieces, she was about maybe 8 or 9 at the time, and I was babysitting. They see magazines and other kids at school must, oh, you're a fatty. You know, at school there was always the fat kid. Like, they must be so concerned that they will never become the fat kid that they are asking me.
Alien abduction.
Mario.
What's in the jukebox? The ghetto blast? Would that be Nathan?
Shabby and
Shabby?
And Iffy. They love music.
What are you looking at? What's stuff on the walls?
Yeah.
Well, that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I looked at it the other day thinking,
Look at the barbed wire.
what's it all about?
Look at all the barbed wire
and the
sort
trolley.
of stuff as well. And the
What's it all about?
Council flats.
Yeah, what's it about though?
Council flats. Yeah. But the thing is, like, look
Look at the fishing. Look at the fishing as well. Me and Steve both put down that we do a lot of fishing.
Yeah, so you got
You fish in there.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
And then what does Mario keep going on about? The fact that he's been abducted by aliens?
Yeah, UFOs.
Look at all the UFOs.